Where the white women at? Hello?
Greg, you're
He
muted.
said he's gonna
It
start.
was like it went. It like replayed the video on my end.
Really?
The intro, yeah, like we started to replay the intro on my end. That's why I was like, "What the heck just happened?" I heard where the white women at, and then all of a sudden it went click play and started to play the thing again.
And did
Weird.
you hear me saying, "Greg, you're muted"?
Yeah, I heard that right at the end.
Okay.
That was weird.
Yeah, it only played once through my end.
That's crazy. But welcome, and where are the white women at tonight? We could use some in the chat. Women of all colors and races, you're all welcome. We're all lonely.
We did have 6 in the chat, actually.
We did what?
6 was in the chat.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah.
There's a woman right there.
Yes, sir. But thank you to everybody that's here watching us in the chat. I'll say hello to you guys here in a minute. But how are you guys doing tonight, Tom and Runner?
Hanging in there.
Exhausted as fuck.
I think that's going around here lately with everybody because I think we're all just kind of beat lately. It seems like things are getting real busy around in the world, in the life.
I mean, it's kind of my fault because I asked for extra hours over the summer.
Happens, man. I mean, you're getting ready to get to college and you need some cash.
Oh, so. Fuck yeah. Yeah, definitely. I need money because I keep spending it on shit like fucking 4K Blu-rays. It's not good. I mean, I like buying it, but it's not good for me financially.
I told you way back when. We're on episode 95 now. We're almost to 100 episode, guys. I told you way back when we started that, Runner, this is going to cost you because once you start, it becomes like a thing, an addiction, and you just start seeing all these movies and stuff you want. So
yeah, dude, I participated on the Shout sale, and that whole thing is shipped like of recent, and I also participated on the Vinegar Syndrome sale.
I did Vinegar Syndrome, so I should have a good box of Vinegar Syndrome coming my way soon.
Yeah, I'm excited. I got like 4 titles from them. So
he finally got Debbie Does Dallas, guys.
The first one is not available on
Vinegar Syndrome. They have part 2 though.
Unfortunately,
yeah, they have the sequel. But I would say hi to the chat real quick.
They have part 2. They have the sequel.
Yeah, they have a sequel. They also just got a new. Speaking of which, they just got Debbie Does Demons. It just came out, so. But there you go. But I'm gonna say hi to the chat real quick. Yeah, we'll say hi to the chat real quick, and then we'll get started on what's coming out, and we'll show our physical media. So welcome to everybody out there, Random Brad Creator. Glad to have you in the chat. I see you here every week, and I'm so glad to have you here. Heather Preston, hi. How are you doing this evening? 6 Mead Raid, as we mentioned earlier. Welcome. And then Tim Hayes says Mead Raid is right. Tom should be here later, and he is. So glad to have you in the chat, Tim Hayes. Let's see. We have the man.
You got here backstage before me.
Yeah, we got the man, the myth, the legend. Deleted scene. Steven says, hell to all in the chat. Started my new job this morning. Been playing catch up all day. Finally made it. And here, hope everyone's well. Hope you're well too. Glad to have you here, Steven, as well.
Congratulations on the new job.
Somebody needs to kick this dude out. Seriously. Why does he keep coming into the chat?
I agree. He's a fucking prick. I hate that guy.
I kind of like him.
Shit.
I kind of thought he's a good kid.
You just said you hated him. Now you like him. What are you talking about? He's terrible.
Welcome, Style Section.
He thinks he's a YouTuber, but he doesn't upload shit.
He doesn't. Welcome, Brian Barthel, to you. Yes, and happy birthday to Mr. Clint Eastwood, who's 93 years young today. Happy birthday to you, Mr. Eastwood. Make my day. That's bad. I can't do it. Cool Gamer, welcome as always. Tyrell72, good evening to you, my friend. And Stephen Luther, what is up? Ace Hanlon, glad to have you in the chat as well. I want to make sure I get everybody. This is why physical media is important, people. Apocalypse Now has been scrubbed off of all streaming services. This is why physical media is important.
Good thing I have the final cut on Steelbook on 4K.
Exactly.
And you can get all the cuts of Apocalypse Now on 4K for like $20. I haven't gotten that set, but that's a hell of a deal.
Yeah.
So yeah, go get Apocalypse Now on 4K.
Go get Apocalypse Now because it's not on streaming. Cryum, welcome as well. Inverse Opinion, howdy to you. Anonymous, I don't know. With WB, you never know if Scooby-Doo and Zombie Island will get a 4K. You don't know. I can't say for sure, so I don't really know. But I'm hoping I got everybody. If I missed you, I do apologize. But thank you all for being here in the chat.
Not likely, but you never know.
Yeah, I was going to say not likely, but you really never know. Yes, always own the disc, kids. So thank you and welcome all, and glad to have you here. So let's begin the show with a little something here for you guys, so you know what's coming and what may be coming.
Hello there, and welcome to the 4K for You news and rumors for the week of May 31st, 2023. Lionsgate has let us know that the 80s classic My Friend is a Vampire is finally hitting home video on the 25th of July. I don't even think that's ever been on DVD, folks. Monk Season 1 is coming from Kino Lorber August 8th. Batman Mask of the Phantasm is coming to 4K via Warner Brothers on the 12th of September. I'm a little worried that's not the archive working on that, but we'll see how it turns out. Speaking of Warner Brothers, The Exorcist will hit 4K on September 19th, 2023. Can't wait for that. Shrek the Third will hit 4K on September 12th. Sleepy Hollow will get released in September from Paramount in 4K. Arrow has a few announcements. Last House on the Left 2009 is coming to 4K. Weird Science is also coming to 4K on the 22nd of August. Time Bandits will also hit 4K on the 28th of August. Shout has a few announcements this week. On the 1st of August, Nightbreed gets released in 4K. Here's a look at their special collector's edition, as well as Hackers will be released on the 22nd of August. Coma is coming to Blu-ray on the 22nd of August. On the 15th of August, you can expect your Shaw Brothers Classics Volume 2 Blu-ray set. And on the 8th of August, Shout will release Little Nicky for the first time on Blu-ray. We also know that Jackie Brown and Kill Bill Volume 1 will be hitting 4K later this year. We've got more on that on our show, so stay tuned for that. And in the rumor mill, we've got Charlie's Angels Full Throttle 4K, Narc 16 Candles coming from Arrow, and Rocky 5 and 6 also rumored for later this year. That's your news and rumors in the 4K world. See you on the show.
Those are some interesting titles.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yes. And make sure to check out the 4K for You show that we did do earlier after this. So that was a good show. Mm-hmm. But yes, I'm excited for a lot of those releases. Of course, Kill Bill, we're excited about that in 4K. And Jackie Brown. I mean, I said I'm saying thinking Pam Grier and Jackie Brown at the same time. It was weird.
You sounded like Eric. That's like how Eric Cartman would say Jackie Brown.
Screw you guys, I'm getting home.
Oh God, that's a horrible impression.
I know.
I'm kidding.
There you go. Tom's got it. I'm not good with impressions, man. But yes, I'm excited about those.
I've been trying to work on my Cartman impression.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Holy shit.
Oh, that was good. That was good. Yes. Yes, Nightbreed on 4K is actually, I think I'll probably pick that one up. I'm hoping they do the director's cut in 4K as well. And yes, definitely style section. We need to. Now, this is what we talked about earlier because it looks like Kill Bill Volume 1 will probably come out sometime this year in 4K. And then sometime maybe next year we'll get Kill Bill Volume 2. And then sometime after that we'll probably get the whole Bloody Fair in 4K.
I was hoping we'd get part 1 and 2 together.
Yeah. Yeah. But yes, there was a lot of titles to get excited about there. I've mentioned earlier to Tom and all them. My Best Friend's a Vampire. I've been waiting for that for quite some time.
Right.
And right? And I looked that up. It actually has been on DVD before.
Really?
Yes, it came in. This is interesting because it came in a set of 4 DVDs. It was My Best Friend's a Vampire, Repossessed, Silent Night, Deadly Night 3, and Slaughter High. And now it looks like 3 of those 4 have come out on the Vestron label. And it's rumored Repossessed is coming out. So, yeah. So there we have that. So, but they're in the 4:3 aspect ratio. So this will be the actual widescreen. You know, hopefully it's a good scan because I've been waiting for that movie. And we're hoping that Batman Mask of the Phantasm is done justice, but there may be cause to worry a little bit about who's doing the scan on that front. So.
Yeah, I'm a bit worried on that because I love that movie.
Yeah, big time.
And I have 2 Blu-rays of it. One on the Batman animated series set, and the other one on the other Batman animated movies set. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah. Here we got a question here from Deleted Scenes. He says, question for the panel. Valiant Renegade has given his blessing to the Cliffhanger 4K. Any thoughts on the Last Starfighter? Now, I haven't picked up the Last Starfighter on 4K. Yeah, I still have the Blu-ray from the last time Arrow
Should
showed it
have
out.
it by this weekend.
The Last Starfighter is like completely sold out.
Yeah, I have heard it's good though. I have heard it's a good 4K.
And didn't Cliffhanger already get released on 4K though?
Yes, but they re-released it in a new steelbook and stuff. And I think what was it? It might have new. What was it in it?
I think the original one was only HDR, so this one I think has Dolby Vision and I think it
that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense because Sony's done that for a lot of their other movies lately.
Yeah. But the last 4K was good, and this 4K is good. And what I've heard about the last Starfighter is that it looks really, really good, except maybe some of that CG because it was early CG doesn't maybe quite hold up, but for the movie in general, it looks good in 4K. So, well, if you get it,
movie or booby?
Movie, I said. I think you just got boobies on the brain.
Okay, I
man.
thought you said booby.
All right.
I can't believe you're the one telling me that of all people.
Yeah, but I didn't bring it up first this time. I was saying movie.
It sounded like you said, whatever. It sounded like you said that word, man.
This is why we need Where the White Women At.
Yeah, fair enough.
Oh, that sucks, man. His order was delayed by Arrow. That sucks.
Oh man, that sucks.
Arrow sucks.
Yeah, they're ever since Zavi bought them. Yeah.
Zavi bought Arrow?
A long time ago, Zavi. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know about that shit.
Honestly, I about bought Debbie Does Demons because I've seen stills from that movie. It looks silly as hell. So I about bought that movie.
Should I just buy that movie so Greg can shut the fuck up about trying to guess that?
I will never shut up about that. But with all that being said,
it's fucking irritating.
I know, that's why I do it. It's done with love. It's done with love, Runner.
Well, you're a dick for love.
I
don't know if that makes sense.
Don't ever say that again. That sounded horrible.
No, yeah, I was gonna say that probably didn't make sense.
Yeah, that was kind of weird, man.
Weird.
You're crossing the line,
weird, so shut up.
You're crossing the line there, Runner.
You're also kind of weird, okay?
But with that, how about we just start with you, Runner? What do you got? What's your first pick of the night? Let's go ahead and start with you.
My first pick of the night is it's a Steelbook, and I don't know what else to say about this. I watched it recently for the first time, which is kind of a surprise. The Addams Family.
I love that movie. That's the one with the more Mamushka, right?
I don't know jack shit. honestly, about the Addams Family. I'm sorry. It's the first movie.
Yes, it's they released it on 4K before the Steelbook. It's called the Mamushka cut because it has more of the Mamushka scene.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah,
I watched the theatrical version.
Yeah.
But it does have the other version in it, yeah.
Yeah. It's a great movie. I love that movie. It's one of my favorites.
The only reason I knew about I think I watched some episodes of the TV show, and we like picked it up in the library because my sister was in a Addams Family play in high school.
Really? Did she play Wednesday?
No, she wasn't one of the main characters. She was like a supporting, like, because like there's a ton of like dancers and shit in like musicals and stuff. She was probably one of those.
Random Brad, you've never seen the Addams Family? I mean, Runner, I can understand. I can't believe Random Brad has never seen it. And I think you would like it, man. I really do. It's a fun, like,
it's good.
The Raul Julia plays an amazing Gomez Addams. What's his name? Christopher Lloyd as Christopher Lloyd as
Christopher Lloyd. Yeah,
I can't. My mind is going.
Uncle
Fester. Wednesday. Christina Ricci as Wednesday. Angelica Houston is amazing. It's just a great movie. It's fun. It's a fun movie, and the dance in Mamushka scene is great. Too. Yeah, it was such a good fun movie. I remember that. Just having a ball with that. And
but I watched the theatrical cut.
It's still good. I mean, it's still good.
It's good. I got the Steelbook when Paramount released it. I think it looks really good. I like the purple and the green on it.
Yeah, that's actually a nice looking Steelbook. Looks a little better than a regular slipcase, so I don't mind that.
Yeah, that's why I bought the Steelbook, because it just looked better.
And we got a members chat from Tim Hayes, which I know doesn't show up on StreamYard here. It says, "Hell, guys, to you, Runner Blaze, F your Best Buy, F your Best Buy, F your Best Buy." Tim Hayes, thank you for being a member here for 9 months. I appreciate your support. Glad to have you aboard.
I don't go to my Best Buy as much as I did back then because I'm really trying my hardest to not buy as much stuff.
It happens. It happens.
But it's always one of those sales from like Shout, Kino, even Criterion that will get me to buy some shit from them.
Yeah, that happens. I get you, Random Brad. I love the original TV series, and which we might be getting on Blu-ray here soon, I heard. So I love the original TV series, and the movie, the Addams Family movie, is a great companion piece to the TV series. It respects a lot of the TV series. Whereas like the latest releases, like with the cartoons and the Wednesday, it's much more in line with the cartoon or the comic strip. The TV series and the movie, Addams Family movies, go hand in hand. They're very similar and they're very well done. I love them. Go ahead.
Hopefully we get the second one pretty soon.
Yeah, that would be nice. I was wondering because they released that one a year or two ago, didn't they?
Addams Family Values? I don't know if it's out on 4K.
Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on standard Blu-ray, but not.
I don't think it's on 4K yet.
No, it's not on 4K. Hopefully we get it soon is what we're saying.
Yeah. I couldn't imagine it. They'll probably release it because I got this like months ago.
Yeah, the sequel is just as good as it. Yeah, it's one of the ones where the sequel is just as good.
Yeah, I've heard about that. I could see them releasing it really soon. Honestly, kind of like what they did with Scream and Beverly Hills Cop, because they released the second one. I don't know how much it was apart from the first one, but yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Alrighty then. Any final words, Runner?
No, not really. Fun movie.
Okay.
Not one of my favorites. But
how dare you, sir? How dare you? That is a great movie. and it's 100 times better than Rob Zombie's Monsters. Oh my god, that movie's horrible.
well, no shit.
Rob Zombie's Monsters, man, is bad.
That looked bad, but I actually heard some decent things about the Wednesday show. I haven't seen it.
I know a lot of people like it. I haven't seen it, but I know a lot of people like it. All right.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people like it.
Yeah, I haven't watched it. No, it just didn't seem like it was something I would get into, to be personally honest.
It kind of looked like crap, but I don't know. I think Jenna Ortega is a pretty good cast choice for Wednesday.
Yeah. All right, Tom. Yeah. If you're ready, Tom, are you ready for your first pick of the night?
Sure, why not?
What you got, buddy?
Oh, let's see here. Where should I start? Well, for Memorial Day, I observed by watching Save It Private Ryan 20th Anniversary Edition on 4K. It's probably the first time I watched the movie since it came out. It was pretty good. I mean, it's one of those movies you don't want to watch all the time.
Right.
But as far as the 4K transfer, it looks great. The Dolby Atmos really engrosses you in the movie. So, yeah, I didn't get a chance to watch any of the special features, but it looks like it's got a shit ton on here. On the Blu-ray, it looks like. But, no, I can recommend it. I think Runner talked about it not too long ago.
Did you bring that up, Runner, not too long ago? Runner's gone.
Swore.
Yeah. I haven't seen that in a long time. I remember it having a really great cast to it. And I remember getting a little emotional watching it, especially when they get to the beach and everything. It's a good movie. It's a good movie.
Yeah, the ending is really well done, and it keeps you clipping along it, even though it's almost 3 hours long. But yeah.
Yeah. Now, what do you think? Do you think it's probably Spielberg's last great film? No,
I usually would say Catch Me If You Can was his last good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. This was yeah, I think you're right. Probably Catch Me If You Can. Yeah. I mean, Spielberg, he has his moments here and there, and that was sometimes he just captures us at the right time. So yeah, that's a good movie. But Runner, were you there? Because I want to know if you really did, if you brought this back on one time or something. He's gone. All right, but yeah. So the scan is good. This sounds good. Did this just come out?
No, I think it's been a while because I think it came out in '99 originally. I want to say, or what was it? It's the 20th anniversary. Oh yeah, '98, the year I graduated. So no, this would be. Or was it this year? No. I just got it, but I got it for like cheap on sale. I want to say this has been out for a couple of years at least. What would be the 20th? 2018, wouldn't it be? Would be the anniversary? Yeah, so it's a couple of years old now.
Yeah.
For being a couple of years old, the scan's pretty good.
Yeah. That's nice. But I mean, that is a good one to watch over Memorial Day. I haven't seen it in a long time myself. I remember who's it? We had Tom Hanks. You had Vin Diesel. There was the guy from Friends on there? Ross. The guy, what's his name?
No, it's
no, he's in Band of Brothers. That's right.
I know who you're thinking of though. It's shit. Let's see what we got here. Tom Sizemore's in it. Edward Burns is in it. Obviously, Vin Diesel, Giovanni Ribisi, Matt Damon, Ted Danson has a bit part in it. Adam Goldberg.
That's who I was thinking of. Adam Goldberg.
Yeah. Barry Pepper, Paul Giamatti and Dennis Farina have a bit part in it. Gosh, who else? It's got a hell of a cast. But yeah, no, it's a really well done film, and like you said, the end really kind of hits you hard.
It does. And it's I remember getting really pissed off. I think it was that Adam Goldberg when he just like won't fight and a lot of them start getting killed. I remember like, dude, you got to do something. I think was it him that was started to be the coward at the end, and he just like I don't know. I can't remember who it was.
He was the one that gets killed upstairs, and when the guy doesn't save him,
yeah. And it was like
the coward on the stair is the one on the stairs. He was the Jewish guy who was like really gung ho on killing.
Oh, okay,
Yahtzees.
Oh, that's Jeremy Davies. Okay, yeah, because he always plays the coward. See, that's how long it's been since I've seen it. I can't remember, but I remember the bits and pieces at the end there. That was like really.
Yeah, and he was really one of the only ones I didn't. I mean, I know I'd seen him before, but I couldn't really place him. He hadn't been in so many movies prior to Was that Runner really going, hello?
I think it was. Hello. Hi, guys.
Yeah.
Can anybody hear me?
Shit, it's okay. You guys are glitching out a little bit, but I think it's okay right now. I had to refresh because literally I couldn't hear a single thing that Tom was saying.
Well, he brought on Saving Private Ryan, so any words on that?
I saw literally I've been staring at an image of Tom holding up Saving Private Ryan for like 2 minutes, and I refreshed because I'm like, fuck, I can't hear a single thing that he's saying. But no, I love Saving Private Ryan. That's a damn good movie. I should have watched it over Memorial Day, but I didn't.
Now, have you brought it on before? That's what we was asking you, because we thought maybe you had brought it on before.
Not to my knowledge, because I bought it like a few months ago on Best Buy. So I couldn't have. All right, whatever. No, but I couldn't have brought it on because I haven't watched it on 4K.
Okay.
That has never ever fucking stopped you from bringing a movie on.
I know. He's like, I watched this on my phone, but I got the 4K.
Hey, fuck you. I was sick today and I didn't want to get off of bed. Okay, it was one of those days.
Okay, but that is a good movie, and that I have not seen it in a long time, so now I'm kind of interested to go back and give it a rewatch. So I may do that here soon.
I want to rewatch it too, but yeah, but well, I also haven't seen it in a while, so I don't want to bring on a movie and being like, oh yeah, I haven't seen it, I just bought it, type of thing. Because I used to do that in this show, and I'm like, God, that's like a really dumb thing to do.
That's sort of what we was talking about a minute ago.
Yeah, no, I did not. I'm pretty damn sure I didn't bring on Saving Private Ryan.
Okay.
There's no way.
All right. And yes, it is a great film. Great first pick there, Tom, and great first pick to you to seriously Runner as well, because I love the Addams Family. So I guess we'll go to me.
Cool.
Oh, cool. We'll go to me. If you got anything else you need to say, Tom, about Saving Private Ryan.
No, I think I pretty much summed it up.
Okay. And my movies tonight are going to be somewhat like trashy horror flicks and stuff. And I'm going to start off first with this since I did do a review of it already. But I just got Linnea Quigley's Horror Workout from TerraVision. This is actually a really good release. I really dug it, and I really dug the slipcover. So there you guys have it if you guys want to see what it looks like there. But yeah, this is the first time this has ever been put on a Blu-ray ever. TerraVision has started was a a partner label for Vinegar Syndrome, and then they went into their own. The guy Brad Henderson, I believe, who actually worked for Vinegar Syndrome. He was like the head of acquisitions over there. Jumped over to TerraVision, and he's been helping them get a bunch of good titles, and this is one of the ones they got. And this has, for anybody that's watched this on Tubi, because they want you to know that What you see on Tubi is not this. What you see on Tubi is an edited version of this. This is the complete unedited version of Leanna Quigley's horror workout, and it contains three versions of the film. It contains the main version, which is where they took the original master tape, de-interlaced it, scaled it, used it, fixed it up, made it the way it's supposed to look. Then it also contains the SD version, which is basically like the VHS version of the film. And then, which was really weird, is that it has an AI upscaled version of the film. And it says it's with a sharper image, but for my money, the main version that they scanned and did the original master tape from looks the best, because this was a sort of like just a VHS style tape. But yeah, it's really good, and it's really fun to see Leanna Quigley naked. I mean, seriously, that's literally the whole movie. Is like, it starts with her in the shower, naked, and then she starts doing exercises, and it sort of plays out like a story. And as she does exercises, her boobs flop out. You know, she has a slumber party with girls. It turns into a slasher movie, and it's a pretty fun hour long like little spoof horror workout movie with some hot women. So, and if you're a horror fan, and if you're a Linnea Quigley fan, who just also happened to have a birthday, I believe she turned 62 a few days ago. So it's fun. It was a fun watch. If you, I don't know if the slipcover version is available anymore, but the Blu-ray should still be available to buy on TerraVision. So check it out if you guys want to. But that's my first pick of the night, and it looks really good on Blu-ray. It does look really good. Naked. Yeah, I mean, the movie starts right off. I mean, right in the shower. It's all for everybody to see. So yeah, it's a fun time, and it's funny because
I believe you, Greg. I totally believe that it looks good on 4K, Greg. I totally believe
it's Blu-ray. It's not 4K.
Oh, but damn it, Blu-ray. My bad.
It's Blu-ray, because they couldn't. There's no way they could have scanned this into 4K. It does, and
yeah,
hell,
no,
Martin Acosta Santana.
I totally just fucked up my joke.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. What's up, the real Sean Crummel, dropping by late to say hi. Hey, man, I hope you enjoy the show or the replay when you get a chance to watch it. Oh, yeah, she does. She does. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. She does. I mean, they know their audience. Seriously. Like, when she's exercising, she's in a studded bra and fishnets, and she's like, "Why?" I'm sure your first thought is, why am I exercising in a studded bra and fishnets? Well, you wouldn't watch this video if I was in baggy sweatpants. And, of course, the clip I play all the time from here on my show comes from this. If I can bring it up real quick.
I know what you're doing when you're watching my movies. Just how many calories do you think that burns?
Which I play all the time. Yeah, that comes directly from that. And yeah, I mean, they knew who their audience was. They knew what they were making it for, and it's a good hour to kill if you got an hour to kill. And the Blu-ray does look great. Comes with a bunch of special features, a new making documentary, new audio commentary with Linnea Quigley and the director, archival features. It's pretty loaded, and it's pretty good. So if you guys want it, check it out. But let's go back to you, Runner. What do you got for us for your second pick of the night? If your internet's holding in and you can hear us.
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, sorry you have to deal with my shitty internet. I hate that. I hate it when that happens. But this movie, just like Saving Private Ryan, is a Tom Hanks movie. And I would say that I watched this one recently. It's a 3-hour long movie, but honestly, the pacing I think is very well, and it doesn't feel like 3 hours at all. It's probably one of Tom Hanks's best movies, in my opinion, and that is The Green Mile on 4K.
And Runner is black.
Yeah, there you go.
Blackface.
Oh shit! None of you talked for a bit. I'm like, fuck. Did I glitch out?
Your whole screen
Damn
was
it.
black, dude. Your whole screen was black.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we know what it is, and I love the Green Mile. That's a good movie. That it does have really great pacing.
I was gonna say you didn't see the. Did not.
I'm
You said my
tired,
screen was black
boss.
the entire time.
Yeah, it was.
So you didn't see the movie.
We
Thought I
saw
was
like
wrong.
right at the end there, it blurred in right at the very end before, right when you turned your camera off. But I do like that movie.
My
It's
internet can go suck a. My internet can suck a dick, dude. Fuck my. God. I'm so fucking pissed off, man.
It happens, man. Usually I'm the one dealing with bad internet that glitches on me and pixelates when I show mine.
Nah, mine is worse. Mine is much worse. It's been happening almost every goddamn day, and it sucks. Yeah, it's 3 hours, but it doesn't feel like that. Is my
No, it
point.
really
Like,
doesn't. It's a really good movie and it flows very good. I mean, like
Here's
great
why, here's why it works. Like, if anyone has seen The Shawshank Redemption, I guarantee you, as long of a movie as that is, I guarantee you won't feel the amount of hours it feels. The same with The Green Mile, and they're both directed by the same director.
Mhm.
So the director can make a long movie, but the pacing of it is very good, which, of late, I know Tom's talked about this, and even Chris Gore of late, especially with the Little Mermaid movie. A lot of people
I
are
have
like,
talked about it too.
oh,
I made a whole video on it about how long
about
movies
running
are.
times and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a
Yeah,
lot
the
of
difference
people
is
are...
when this movie came out, though, there wasn't like every other movie was 2.5 hours long.
Yeah.
No, I know.
This was
that's the point I was gonna. That was the point I was gonna make.
Yeah.
Like this movie actually deserved the amount of minutes it got. Like, if you cut
I was
one
actually
thing out of
surprised it was a good story to begin with.
right.
Because
Yeah.
Stephen King, that was on his age of heading out, and that book came out in sections. Like, he literally released it in like 8 parts. And I'm just like, that does not bode well for a story, but okay. And then the movie came out, and I went and saw it in the theater, and I was impressed. I wasn't impressed with the presentation, though, because in one of the most important scenes in the film, the center channel kicked out.
Oh no.
So you couldn't hear shit
Oh,
but
really?
sound effects.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
And at
That
first we weren't
sucks.
sure if it was in the part of the movie or what was going on. It was a part where he like topples over in pain from his urinary tract infection, and he gets cured by coffee. Like,
Yeah.
no voice through that whole scene. All we could hear was like the ambience and just noise in the background and shit.
Oh, he would like even when he was grabbing him.
Yeah, like we didn't even know what the hell was going on. At first we're like, oh, did the sound dip out like he's like, like it's following him going into like passing out or something like that.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, when he was like, I think he says whatever, it's like, come here, boss, I can help you, or whatever like that. Like, you couldn't hear his voice. And we're like, what the fuck's going on? But we could hear the echo, right? So it was like really just odd. And finally they fixed it after like 5 minutes. But yeah, it was bullshit.
Wait,
And they couldn't rewind it because it was 35 millimeter back then.
It wasn't digital. Oh, that sucks, man.
I think they gave us free passes, even though, I mean, we only missed like a couple minutes of the movie, but it's like, it was one of the most important bits of the movie. Luckily, my girlfriend at the time, my son's mother actually, had read the books. So she knew what was going on. So she's like, okay, well, this is what's going on. He has a urinary tract infection, right? Yeah. She's curing it, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So I was like, oh, okay. All right.
Oh. But
it was funny too, because there was like 8 or 9 other people in the theater too. And all of a sudden she's telling me what's going on. And they all started getting closer and closer to kind of hear what she was saying. Because everybody else is like, what's going on? Oh, they know. She read the book. Like, yeah.
I got to hear this. But it is. That would suck, especially at that point in the movie.
It was pretty close to the book too, from what she said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there's little things she said they left out here and there, but otherwise it was pretty close.
It's pretty. It's a good movie too, and like seriously, the characters, because you really get invested to each of the characters, and that really helps with the runtime too. And
Oh yeah, dude, the characters are amazing, and
Yeah.
William
Michael.
Sadler in there is great.
Yes, William Sadler. Sam Rockwell is great as
Sam
the little.
Oh,
Rockwell
yeah,
is
he
really
was
fucking
good.
good in that, yeah.
Yeah. That bald guy with the mustache, I can't think of his name. I always remember him from the Burt Reynolds TV show. But yeah, with the mouse, he's really
Oh, the gay guy, yeah.
Yeah, the
he's
gay guy.
He was gay in real life.
Yeah.
He died of AIDS. I can't think of his name now. He's actually in a movie I'm about to talk about in a little bit.
Ooh, look, a connection.
But I'm not going to bring it up right away, so yeah.
Yeah.
Because I just sent the message in the background here. I can't count, I realized. I got one more movie than I thought. But I can do two at the same time if you want.
Okay, you can do that. You can do
but Michael Clark Duncan was also very good in this movie.
Yes. Well, I mean, that's like his signature role, right? Like,
oh yeah, definitely.
That's what made him a star to begin with. So, yeah.
It's probably his most like emotional performance, I'd say, because like the backstory you get of like, because the way they show it, it almost kind of seemed like, oh, we actually killed those two girls when it was Sam Rockwell's character. Spoiler alert to those who haven't seen the movie. I'm sorry.
I think it's pretty obvious from the start he didn't do it, but
yeah.
I knew he didn't do it. I just didn't know
everybody did it. Like, yeah, this is just the last one of those Stephen King books, though, that he had this era where it was like, and I've said this before, I can't remember where it was at, but I think you were there, Greg, for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Where it was like he had this era where he was pumping out movies or stories that became movies. Sorry. He was pumping out books that was almost like they meant to be there, right? Like how Freddy Krueger works through Wes Craven in New Nightmare. It was almost like there was this time period where this thing had tapped into Stephen King. And there was just a string of stories that it's like, well, of course. It's like that story always existed. You know what I mean? Everything from Carrie to Cujo up through Green Mile, which probably arguably Green Mile was his last really good story.
Yeah.
There might have been a straggler after there that I can't think of, but it was just like these stories that were just spitting out of him, just like, of course, it makes total sense. Pet Cemetery, Misery. I mean, just these great, great, great stories that are amazing. Shawshank Redemption, Stand By Me. I mean, and then all of a sudden he just turned into your fucking crazy lesbian aunt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that last week on 4K for You. That was me, you, and Valiant.
That's what I thought. I was going to say, I know you were there. That's what I was thinking. Was it 4K for You? I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I brought up, The Dark Half, which was a great movie, too, and a great book. One, it was up until, I believe, like, I think it's that one movie that really derailed it, that one story with, oh my God, they made a movie with, I can't think of his name, Anthony Hopkins.
The Hearts in Atlantis?
Yeah, Hearts in Atlantis.
Yeah, that was a weird one. I have not seen it since it came out, but it was like, oh, dude, you're like copying yourself now.
Yeah, that's when you get to, it's like, he's done at that point.
Yeah, like you're just kind of hodgepodging some of your old shit together. And there was a Dreamcatchers was okay, but again, that was another one just kind of like, I feel like we've been here before. It's just it has some elements to it and an alien. And
I think this one he started connecting everything to the Dark Tower.
Maybe. Have you guys ever seen Dreamcatchers?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So you know what I mean? Like it's when they're kids. It starts out when they're kids, and then of course later on they get back together as adults and they face the creature, alien, whatever the hell.
Yeah, and I believe I don't think they mention it in the movie, but I believe in the book that that creature has crossed paths with Pennywise. Yeah. They mentioned Pennywise. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean, there is an era of Stephen King where he was just like a hell of a writer, but who knows what happened to him other than the car getting hit by a car.
Yeah,
I've never read the book either, Steven, so I have no idea how different the book is from the movie.
Yeah, I've always heard
know the movie was kind of like, this is kind of like It with an alien.
Yeah,
in the woods.
Pretty much. And I always heard that like Dreamcatcher is like, because I've seen it and they always say that Dreamcatcher is like one of the worst Stephen King adaptations.
It's not so much that it's his worst. It's just that you have really done this before, dude. You are just hodgepodging some of your basic. It's like somebody who knows a Stephen King who is writing a story like Stephen King. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Not Stephen King actually writing it though, like somebody else. I mean, again, I've never read the book, so I can't speak to the actual writing style. But the story itself, again, like a couple other movies in that era that came out based on books from that same era, we're just like, dude, we've covered this ground before.
Yeah.
And Dolores Claiborne was another one of his last really good ones, but then he did one that was really close to that wasn't as good, and I'm trying to think of the name of that one. Something Game. And then he did that Red
Gerald's
Rose one.
Game.
Gerald's Game. And then the Red Rose one, and that one kind of reminded me, if I remember right, a lot of like The Stand. Kind of had a lot of same kind of elements to it, but I'm sure that's the problem, is once you get into the later stories, they're so hodgepodged of like some of his tropes that you're just like, there's nothing really original here at the end of the day. But somebody correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a long time since I've read or seen any of these.
Yeah, one of the ones I liked recently, I don't know if it's a newer story of his or if it was based off an older story of his, movie-wise. It was the one that's on, it's on Netflix, which is came out like 3 or 4 years ago with Thomas Jane. I can't remember. It's like a year, 1922 maybe.
Oh, yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah, that one's not too bad. That one's not too bad.
1922,
it's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
that was a
creepy.
little bit more like old school King in a way.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's a newer story or if that was an older story.
I'm not sure. I think it's a newer one actually. But he's also got this thing where he's got a buttload of his books where all you have to do is pay him $1 and you can get the rights to make a movie.
Yep. And that's how the Boogeyman came about, the original. Yep. Yeah. It's called his Dollar Babies is what he calls them.
Yep.
Yeah. But The Green Mile is a great movie, and yes, it flies by. And then go ahead.
You know what's crazy? I don't know if it's just me, but they made me give a shit about a fucking mouse in the movie.
Yeah,
right.
When they kill it, man.
Oh yeah, when that one dude like stomped on it, I was like, no.
Well, and that's the thing is, even Green Mile, as good as it is, it really leans into some Shawshank territory too.
Yeah.
No, see that's it was weird because I remember I was watching The Green Mile and I'm like, because it's like the same director and all that, I forget his name.
A lot of the same cast and shit,
Yeah.
It's Frank Darabont.
Yeah, Frank Darabont. It's almost like it fits into the same.
Well, I think they even mentioned Shawshank once or twice in the movie too.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, because Stephen King has his own little world.
Yeah,
like everything takes place usually in Maine, except for the few random stories that don't. And all of the towns and stuff that he created are towns he created. Derry. There's like 3 different towns. I can't remember them all. There's Derry.
I know. I can't remember. I can't think of them too. But they all like connect to the Dark Tower. Haven was Haven one of them? No, that was the TV show. That's based on that.
Well, there's a couple of towns that they're actually based on, the real towns. Because like New Haven, Connecticut is close by, but I believe there's a town based on it. It's a totally different state, but like, somebody's gonna have to remind me in the chat, because like Needful Things takes place in one of the smaller towns too, but it's not Derry. But there are all these little small weird towns. Castle Rock, thank you. That's the other one.
Castle Rock. Yes,
Castle Rock is where most of them take place.
Yeah.
And Castle Rock Entertainment is what produced the movie.
That's that's Rob Reiner's production company, and I think Stephen King has a piece of it too. Because Stand By Me, it takes place in Castle Rock. Doesn't Needful Things take place in Castle Rock as well?
I think so.
And then it, of course, takes place in Derry. See, like Shawshank and the prison that's the Green Mile, or it is like, I think it's the state prison is Green Mile, isn't it? And then Shawshank, and then Shawshank's the other one that's. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, for my brother here, who's a member for 2 months, said he made the original multiverse. He sort of did, and they tried to do that with the TV show that didn't last long. That was on Hulu by J.J. Abrams.
There's another town or two too that he has made up, and I'm trying to think of them now. I'm drawing a blank.
I mean, because I remember the TV show Haven, and that's why, because Haven is a Stephen King adaptation of I can't remember the name of the story. It's about a woman who's found dead on a beach. I can't remember the name of the story.
It's not ringing
It's in one of his pulp movies.
The thing with The Shining is he based that on a real place in Colorado, and that that was one of his earlier books, I believe, and I don't think he had quite established his universe yet. Although, I mean, things that happen in The Shining are mentioned in other books and stories, and The Shining is a thing in his universe.
Yeah.
Storm of the Century was another one there, yeah.
Yeah.
That was one I didn't really care for too much, I remember.
Yes, the Colorado Kid is what the story I was thinking with the Haven. Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, we've gone on for Steven.
Yeah. We did.
Yeah, the Green Mile. Because there's some more things I want to say about this movie.
Sure.
Go ahead.
The part that I thought was fucking brilliant in the movie was after Michael Clark Duncan saves the woman, and he holds in like the disease and shit, like all those flies or whatever that he'll release from his mouth. He saves it so he can what's that one dude's name? So he can use that. So he can mind control that one dude and then shoot Sam Rockwell's character.
Mm-hmm. It's Poissy. That's how I remember them saying his name. Yeah. And then he ends up in the mental hospital.
Yeah, that was crazy because I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, why did he kill him? Because like he seemed like a decent enough person and not want to do that. And he's like, he's a bad man or something. I can't do a good Michael Clark Duncan.
Todd boss.
Yeah, so he's a bad man and all that, and Tom Hanks like sees his old vision and all that, and I just thought it was really good, and once he gets once Michael Clark Duncan gets to the fucking shock collar and stuff or whatever, not shock collar, he gets like electrocuted and shit. You're just like, you just kind of feel bad for him because it's like, damn, he's innocent, but he's gonna fucking take it.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, he knew what he was doing, though, man.
He knew what he was doing.
He knew.
But I even like the scene where he's like, he looks at the crowd watching him, and he's like, man, everyone hates me. Like I can feel it, and the guards are like, he's like, feel how we feel. We don't hate you and all that. It's like, damn.
Yeah. It gets you. That movie hits you, and then
it hits you because like even the emotion from the guards too. It's like, holy shit!
Yeah.
Like they don't want to do it, but they have to.
Yeah, that's pretty much what Brian Barth
explains it in the movie.
Yeah, it's his punishment for taking his life, taking John Coffey's life. That's why he said.
He says it could be a residual or whatever from him being helped too.
Yeah. That and that, it all combined. So yes, it's a great movie.
Yeah, it's really, really fucking. It's a lot better than I thought it would be because I bought this movie on Black Friday for $10. This movie right here.
Good deal.
And I didn't watch it for the longest time because I'm like, I'll have to wait till like summer break and I can watch longer movies because I'll have more time then. And holy shit, this movie was fucking great.
Mm-hmm.
It was so much better than I thought.
Good one. All right.
Very good one.
Yes, sir.
I'm glad I own it on 4K for $10, and it still had the slipcase on it.
Nice. All right, Tom, are you ready for your second pick of the night, or do you want to do that one where you're going to do two together or whatever?
I think I'm going to go off of that one because of writers being involved.
Okay.
And I'm just going to say crazy is a term of art. Sane is a term of law. Remember. And you will always save yourself a lot of trouble. And if you're crazy, you got to get paid for it, or else they're going to lock you up. Buy a ticket, enjoy the ride. We can't pull over here. This is backcountry. So anyway, if you don't know who I'm quoting, then you should by now.
I know who you're quoting.
That is the gonzo himself, Mr. Hunter S. Thompson, the late, who we recently lost here not too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
And not surprised how he died either. That's the weird thing.
I know.
Anyhow, they made a movie about him back in 1980, starring Bill Murray and Peter Boyle. Only this movie is a little bit more about um, his lawyer, Carl Laszlo, more than it is about Hunter, more so. But it is an interesting look into the mind and life of one Hunter S. Thompson, drug addict, writer, gun nut, whatever you want to put there. Of course, he was a character technically a character in the Doonesbury comics. One of his characters was Raul Duke. A very interesting cat, very interesting story. Most famously wrote for Rolling Stone and was credited for helping get Jimmy Carter elected. Crazy guy. Bill Murray does a pretty good job of playing him here, and I don't hate this movie. A lot of people dislike this movie a lot. But I actually think it's a really good film, and it really paves the way for the quasi sequel / midquel, whatever you want to call it, which y'all know what I'm probably talking about by now, except for Runner.
Except for Runner, of course.
Runner's probably just like, I don't even know what the fuck we're talking about. But
I don't. I'm sorry.
Might remember this poster more so, or this picture. And this is actually one of those shout selects that I say actually deserves it.
Oh, yeah?
You actually get a 45-minute interview with the writer, not Hunter S. Thompson, but the writer of the movie, who hung out with Hunter a lot. And also you get the original music for the first time since it was released on VHS.
Oh, nice.
For the DVD and all ancillary digital releases until now, they have replaced all this, like the Jimi Hendrix and Bob Dylan and stuff like that music in the soundtrack, and they replaced it finally. But no, I can recommend it. It's a good flick. It does lie on the back and says it's in stereo. It's not. It's only in mono. Not that it's that big of a deal, but it'd be kind of cool considering all the music they had to at least give it a stereo upgrade, if not a 5.1 mix. Doesn't look horrible. I don't think it's an older scan. It's from 2017. I'm sure Universal did the scan because it's a Universal picture. Doesn't look horrible, but it doesn't look over the moon either. Right. It's clearly a decent 2K scan of probably the inner positive, I'd imagine. But yeah, no, I can recommend it if you haven't seen it. But one movie I'm sure that Runner has heard of but probably never seen would be the midquel starring Johnny Depp called Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, along with Benicio del Toro. And I realized I'd never even opened this Blu-ray up. Because I got this yesterday in the mail and I couldn't put it in my player fast enough. This is, of course, the Arrow edition of the new 4K release. And my God, get some drugs and watch this movie, kids, on 4K because Arrow and in association with Turbine have done an amazing restoration on this movie. It looks astounding. This is one of those movies that I will pull out in the future and say, this is what movies are supposed to look like on 4K. And if you don't see this kind of grain detail, you're not getting the resolution you should be. This is one of those movies when you put it up against some of the quote-unquote big fellas scans and releases, most recently as of late we talked about Superman and a few other ones. This puts almost any of them to shame. Right now, this is going to be a tough one for me to beat for transfer of the year so far. It just looks astounding, and they didn't do anything to really overly fix anything or compensate for anything. This is amazing. It's from the original negative. And yes, as I mentioned before, they got like the original Laserdisc commentary on here, which hasn't been available since then, back in the day when it was first released. And some other goodies, some newer special features, a bunch of older special features, more shit than what was ever on the DVD and Blu-ray. And I can't recommend it enough, to be honest with you.
I know, you really made me want to pick this one up again because I have not seen it in years.
The only thing I want to say that I wish they would have done, a Dolby Atmos upgrade for the sound would have set this over the fucking moon, and could have put it up there for possible best release of the year and or the one to beat. Because I mean, this has a 5.1 track. It's always been in DTS 5.1, and it sounds good. But I just think if you would have let Terry go in and do a Dolby Atmos mix with this, with all the psychedelic shit and stuff that's going on in the movie, I think it really would have just set it off. But
yeah,
Bryant Murray's good, but Johnny Depp becomes Hunter S. Thompson.
yeah, he nails the part.
Oh shit, it's me.
You know what's funny? It's like I was just thinking about this too. Is like because I was watching the Venture Brothers. He's in the freaking Venture Brothers. Hunter S. Thompson is, and it's dead on the Johnny Depp. That's why I always say it, because it reminds me of the Johnny Depp impersonation of Hunter S. Thompson. So it's funny.
Well, in this movie, like even the point where like Johnny Depp spent like I think 2 months with him. Or more ahead of time, and stayed at his house and all this other shit and just soaked up everything he could. And then, right? Exactly, Tim. Like, this is one of those movies where you're just like, yeah, you should have. And I can't believe, I mean, I wonder if this is one that I might get again if Turbine does happen to do it and they end up doing like a Dolby Atmos upgrade on it or something like that. Because they're the ones who did all the sound mixes for Texas Chainsaw.
Yeah.
So,
and that's got the amazing sound mix on that.
Yeah, they did the Dolby Atmos and the Oro and the other different mixes that are on there that are newer ones. Yeah. So, I mean, maybe their version will have a mix on there. That would be amazing. So I might pick that up if that's the case. But I'm trying to remember. I think the Frighteners only had the 5.1 mix, but I can't remember. Maybe it did have a Dolby Atmos upgrade. I'll have to go look. But yeah, that'll be the only other one I'd pick up again because of if that's the case. No, all props out to the Arrow and Turbine Group, the restoration, whoever worked on this. Bravo. Like, this is reference quality as far as film goes. Like, all movies should look like this good.
I love when a scan comes out great and it looks the way it should with the film and like you mentioned with the grain and all that. I mean, that's awesome. That's awesome. I love hearing that. And
what the fuck are you doing? Don't pick him up. Damn.
He's back there like looking in that mirror with the hair he's got.
Oh my god, it's a bunch of fucking reptiles. And they're feeding the goddamn things liquor.
Oh,
Runner's just probably like, what the?
Runner left. He said BRB.
As your lawyer, I advise you to go to Best Buy, Runner.
Yeah, go to Best Buy. And I advise you to fuck your Best Buy.
Brian, I don't know if they hated each other so much. Not sure. I mean, actually, Bill Murray, this is one of the stories I do know about him. They kept trying to one-up each other. They're two people that are almost as crazy as each other. Right? That's where you get two crazy people together and somebody's going to get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And Bill Murray almost died. Basically, they were one-upping each other over daring each other to do this, that, and the other, and they were playing Houdini. Sounds exactly like I say. Like, I bet you I can get out of that in X amount of time. Okay, I can do it, but I'll do it in the pool. Well, Bill did it in the pool and damn near drowned. If Hunter hadn't pulled him out in time.
Dang.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
And Hunter was so fucking fueled by drugs, you never knew what to expect out of him.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, I've never seen the Bill Murray version of it, but
it's a bit tamer than the other one. But
yeah, I've heard
you
people
can kind of see how that movie had to exist for them to get to Fear and Loathing.
Okay.
And I don't mean like story wise. I mean like, because the first movie is like, it got so trashed at the time for like, what is this thing? Because it is like just this collection of things that happen, and it's all kind of hung up on Laszlo. Which would be the Benicio del Toro character in Fear and Loathing. And that story would have happened somewhere in between all this movie and the first one. So like that first movie is more of a look at Laszlo. The second movie, or whatever you want to call it, is a little bit more of a straight adaptation of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Right. Okay. I'm
Like
not
almost word
curious.
for fucking word. Because
Now
like
I'm
Johnny
curious.
Depp does all of his bits throughout the film, like the narration and everything, right? So like,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what I
But
missed.
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Oh, you got the 4K for that?
Yeah.
Does it look good?
No. So disappointing. Not one goddamn bat.
I'm losing it.
I feel like Tom's joking, but I don't know. He sounds very sarcastic.
I wish I could do an impression right now because I would do an impression, but I can't do voices. Oh, oh, yeah, he's messed
Yes,
with
it
you.
looks great.
Yeah,
Yes.
it looks good.
Okay.
Ronald's just got real quiet, like,
I was just thinking for a minute. I'm like, nah, Tom, like, there's no way. If it was a disappointment, he'd probably be a lot more pissed off.
No, but you probably missed the connection that the other movie is kind of a prequel sequel, and Bill Murray plays the part of Hunter S. Thompson and not Johnny Depp.
Oh,
Benicio del Toro's character is played by Peter Boyle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, it's because Universal actually wanted to do Fear and Loathing back then, but the rights... See, Hunter would turn around and sell the rights to shit for like 10 grand just to get drug money sometimes. So for like a decade, some idiot had the rights to Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas and wouldn't let him do anything with it, and they finally bought him back in the 90s. And then Ralph Bakshi wanted to make it, and he was going to do it as a completely animated film. And I wish he would have gotten a chance to, because that would have been a trip.
Yeah, that would have been
definitely
crazy as hell.
But then the chick who basically controlled all of Thompson's stuff wanted to make it live action, and Johnny Depp got involved. Benicio got involved. The original director dropped out, and then they got Terry Gilliam involved. And Terry was on his way back up because he had just done like The Fisher King and a couple other things after he had kind of put himself in director jail after Baron Munchausen had cost way too much. So he'd done some safe movies, and this was kind of his reward. And at the time, what sucks about it for him is it flopped.
Yeah.
And the critics did not get it. Now it has a huge cult following. Mm-hmm. People get it. Hunter S. Thompson is a legend in his own right, along with the Johnny Depp version of it, which, of course, there's Rum Diary, which I tried watching and I couldn't get into. He's not really playing Hunter S. Thompson in that so much, though, as he's just a character. And I believe that was Hunter's few fiction novels, if I remember right.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know about the Rum Diary.
That's where he met the turd.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? That's that movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I bet he regrets doing that now.
Talking about a fucking nightmare.
Yeah. Definitely need some drugs to take care of that problem. What went wrong with Where the Buffalo Roam?
A lot of things. I think it was too close to the time that those things happened. I mean, even Fear and Loathing was kind of, if you want to argue, maybe a little too far away. Mm-hmm. Like, there's probably a sweet spot for these movies, and it probably would have been like the early 90s. Like, the weird thing is this movie wasn't badly timed in a sense, because it came out along with a lot of other drug-fueled movies, like Dazed and Confused and what's the David Chappelle one? Half Baked.
Oh, Half Baked, yeah.
And then they did kind of a semi rip-off of Dazed and Confused. I can't remember what that was. The Stoned Age.
Oh, yeah.
A few other. So it's not like there wasn't a lot of drug movies around. For some reason, though, I can't remember what it also opened up against. Because Johnny Depp wasn't Johnny Depp yet either. People got to remember that. Like, at this point, Johnny Depp was still that weird guy from Edward Scissorhands and Gilbert Grape.
Yeah, and he was like doing straight to DVD movies and stuff too.
Some
like
of his stuff,
Chocolate or something. And all
I
that.
think that was like a French movie or whatever. But yeah.
Did he start becoming Johnny Depp when he like was in like Pirates or something?
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
That is the moment that Johnny Depp became #1 movie star in the world, highest paid actor in all that business.
Yeah, that
he
makes
struggled
sense.
for years.
That makes sense because like almost any like actor who like either is a star or became a star, like it's always in a Jerry Bruckheimer production.
Well, they tried it with like Nick of Time and a couple other movies with him to try and make him like a mainstream star, and it just didn't take off.
No, because like I thought about this like a while ago, like I watch like when you watch Bad Boys, it's like that's kind of how Will Smith got his stardom, was Bad Boys, a Jerry Bruckheimer production. Tom Cruise for Top Gun, a Jerry Bruckheimer production. Same with Val Kilmer, I'd say. What else? Even Nicolas Cage with The Rock and fucking Con Air. Johnny Depp for Pirates.
Well, Nicolas Cage was already Nicolas Cage by then.
Yeah, he was.
I guess.
No, Nicolas Cage became a star with Moonstruck.
Mm-hmm.
Moonstruck was good. I liked him in that.
Yeah, that's the movie that skyrocketed him from just being that weirdo and
Peggy Sue got married.
What about Raising Arizona though, or was that like too early?
That was like his first critical praise, right? Like that was the thing, is he was known then, but like the movie that made him a movie star was basically the moment Cher slapped him and said "snap out of it," I believe. If I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what did it for him.
But I feel like movies like Con Air and The Rock and even like National Treasure or whatever, those are like some of the more well known Nicolas Cage movies.
Oh yeah, that's when he was pretty well established already. Yeah. Wild at Heart was another one of his earlier.
I've heard of that one. I haven't seen it though.
He kind of had a career like Johnny Depp in Weird Way, only he didn't go television route, but he was always doing those weird offbeat movies, and that's what Johnny did at first too. Was like he was the weird offbeat guy. That's what he did. He did shit like Benny and June and Edward Scissorhands and
The Ninth Gate.
Yeah, Ed Wood.
Ed Wood, yeah.
Ed Wood was probably his first real scraping at stardom because I think he got nominated. Did he get nominated? I don't know if he got nominated, but a bunch of other people did, and Martin Landau won for that. So that was the first one that really kind of put him on the map.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, then it wasn't too long after that with Pirates really skyrocketed him to superstardom.
Yep.
Because other than that, Edward Scissorhands is his only movie before, I believe, that really made any real money.
Yep.
And that was more or less sold on the fact that it was a Tim Burton movie.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't really because it was Johnny Depp.
No, because that was Tim Burton as a fucking rock star at that point.
Mm-hmm. With Batman and all those, man, he was just knocking it out of the park.
Brasco got him some notice too. You're right, Bryant. That's true. But he did some other smaller films too, like Don Juan DeMarco in that era.
Mm-hmm.
He directed his own movie, The Brave.
Yeah. It's like you said, he was like sort of flirting with it. It's like it was coming and then it was going and it was coming.
They tried. He got his chances, but just boom. The Pirates was the thing that, because he did get nominated for that on top of it being a huge fucking success. But
Mm-hmm.
Sleepy Hollow was another one that was successful, but that was also still sold on more on Tim Burton.
Yeah.
Tim Burton was still technically the star of his own movies at that point. But anyway,
yes, it's a great there pick there, and I'm thinking about picking up that 4K because I'm sure I could get it like on Diabolic.
And I do recommend Where the Buffalo Roam. I do like it a lot more than most people did, and I find it quite funny. It's just like I said, it's kind of like you can see they're kind of moving, trying to do something like Fear and Loathing, but at the same time, it's not in a sense because it's more of a straight comedy. Like they're trying to showcase Bill Murray as Bill Murray, but it's not. It's Bill Murray doing Hunter S. Thompson.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not as loony as Johnny Depp's version of it, but it's pretty similar. Like, Bill Murray already kind of has his cadence to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Just the kind of way he talks. Bill Murray that's just a character he does already, kind of so it just kind of works. And then, just kind of the way that with wackiness of Murray's humor. kind of just gels. I could see why those two clicked the way they did anyway when they did meet and hang out. Because they're very much two peas in a pod.
Yeah, you could tell. You never know, Brian Barth. He just may. You never know.
He doesn't need Hollywood though. He's done with
Yeah,
that shit.
him and Nick Cage are
he even said that recently, like that he doesn't need Hollywood. I think he said that in the Cannes Film Festival, actually.
He's kind of reached that point where he's like Marlon Brando or Orson Welles or whatever, kind of beyond stardom at this point.
Yeah,
Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, they don't need to make movies to be famous anymore.
Do whatever the fuck they want. Yeah.
just do it. But with that, I guess we'll move on to mine.
Like Jack Nicholson, he made the same fucking movie like 5 times near the end of his career. I mean, as good as it gets, something like as good as it gets, another thing like as good as it gets, and the fourth thing like as good as it gets.
The movie with him and Keanu Reeves.
As good as it gets when you get old.
And what's her name? The Annie Hall chick. What's her name?
Oh, Diane Keaton.
It was Jack Nicholson, Diane Keaton, Keanu Reeves.
Which one was that one? That was
that's the big one where they made a big deal because Diane Keaton gets buck naked in it, and she was like 70 almost.
What the hell was the name of that one? That's the thing. There's so much alike. I don't even remember.
They're so very similar. Yeah, which that one actually, honestly, that Diane Keaton one isn't really that bad.
They're not bad. I like As Good as It Gets, but they're all pretty much the same kind of movie.
Pretty much, yeah. He's just like this gruff man who
old grumpy Jack Nicholson gets in funny situations, basically.
I think
uncomfortable funny situations. Something's got to give.
Something's got to give.
Something about Schmidt or whatever the hell it was, and then
about Schmidt stuff. Yeah.
They're all pretty much the same movie.
Pretty much, yeah.
Or they could be sequels to each other at the end of the day. Really, you make me a better me.
You make me a better me.
And really, As Good as It Gets feels like it's like we need to make movies like Jerry Maguire. And we got like 10,000 movies like Jerry Maguire.
Yeah. Show me the money.
Really, they're all kind of the same. It's built around this weird romance, usually, or oddball romance, and it's usually a down on her luck woman, single mother with a cute kid.
Yeah.
And they're all the same. Anyway.
Yeah. All right. I guess it gets to mine. Going from like The Green Mile, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, Jack Nicholson. I'm going to bring up something that does not belong in any of those categories of movies or stardom whatsoever. It's pure, simple, straight to VHS, sleaze, LA Wars.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Called Vince Murdocco. It's from the 90s. It was a straight not shot on VHS, but like a straight to VHS movie, action flick. This guy right here, he's a cop who they can't control. Vince Murdocco. He's a cop who they can't control. Motherfucker just straight kills people. That's all he does.
So he's barely a cop.
He's not even a cop. When the movie starts, he's already fired from the force because he killed a guy that was doing something to a child. He just walked in straight, killed the motherfucker. So they fired him from being a cop. And that's like when you first see him, he just like pulls out a gun and shoots the dude in the head. He's like, because the guy comes in holding a gun, trying to rob a bank, and he just jumps up, shoots the guy in the head, beats the shit out of the other guy. So he's already fired from the force. He's he just shoots first, never asks questions. And so there's this mob boss in the town of LA. He's the head of the multiple Italian families. We lost Runner. He said, "Fuck this." He's
having internet issues up there.
Yeah.
Poor lucky him.
So there's the mob boss here, and he's starting his business is taking a hit from this new guy from like Venezuela or somewhere. He's come in and started hijacking his cocaine and killing everybody. He starts a mob war. So they decide to hire Vince Murdocco's cop here that they can't handle to go undercover into his to the Italian guy's organization, and so he protects the guy's daughter, falls in love with the guy's daughter. She gets kidnapped. He kills everybody. That's the movie. So it's a fun movie. It's Vinegar Syndrome put it out once before, and it went OP. So MVD now puts it out. So a lot of some of these titles that Vinegar Syndrome has put out in the past, or Shout has put out, and they kind of lost rights. MVD has been picking them up, and it's the same scan. So it's the same scan as them. Yeah, and Serial Midnight, Heath, he does the audio-visual commentary with the director.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so like he videotaped it on Zoom, and so they watched the movie together as a special feature. So it's really cool. It's really fun and interesting to hear that. So yeah, if you're looking for like a cheesy, trashy 90s, like bad version of I want to say Lethal Weapon without Danny Glover, and who this is what it is. If you've ever seen like I play clips here too of the cop, the samurai cop, it's in the League of Samurai Cops, but this is shot better and actually acted better, and that's not saying much. So yeah, if you can get the DVD, pick it up, because the Vinegar Syndrome is gone. It's out. So, and it's the same scan, and it's got new special features on it, including the Serial Midnight visual commentary. But yeah, it was fun. It's a good movie. I enjoyed it, and copious amounts of nudity, copious amounts of violence. It's just fun altogether. It's just, like I said, going from like Green Mile, Fear and Loathing, Johnny Depp, all them guys, to Vince Murdocho. Yeah. So there you go. Like I said, mine is low budget trash tonight, guys. That's what I bought.
Well,
So.
what did you show? I'm sorry, my internet's fucking ass, and I'm fucking pissed.
I showed L.A. Wars, which I probably should open it up here and show you. There's the inside of it, the original poster, and it comes with the poster here. So didn't show all that earlier, but yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it's a fun little trashy 90s action. I don't want to say it's not horror action movie, karate movie, like in the vein, trying to be like Lethal Weapon. That's what it's trying to be like. But there you guys have it. That's my second pick of the night, and yeah. So to you, Runner. I know. Hey, that's what I'm here for. Tom's the guy that brings up the quality. Runner's the guy, the young kid that's coming in, finding all these movies. I'm the guy that takes you down to the gutter. That's where I take you down to the gutter with the B movies and the boobies and all that.
Hey, I do sometimes.
Sometimes, yes.
Yeah, but not compared to Greg.
No, I find the wackier shit.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Like the Greasy Strangler.
Yeah. The movie's crazy. And I still can't believe like I watched that zombie movie where he's in that movie. So but brother, if you're ready for your final pick of the night, if you think your internet can handle it, I send it to you, my friend.
Hopefully it can. Oh my god. Damn it. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Are you good?
God fucking damn it. My fucking internet. I'll be right back.
All right.
I'll be right back.
All right. I like Tom just chilling up there with Sadie and his cat.
Yeah, I let Sadie run around without the cone for a little bit. She's so excited. Yes, I know. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
So excited. But she's not going to be excited when we get done here. But she's got to get her ear.
Gonna put it back on.
I got to put it back on.
You got you're loving the animals. We'll give him a few minutes here, and
she's just jealous because he's up here, so she's trying to get underneath my arm.
You're not paying attention to me.
Not fair. He's up there on your lap. Why can't I be? I'm just a little puppy. That's what she thinks. I'm only this big.
Well, it looks like we just may have cost Random Brad some money. He just found a store that has LA Wars and Fear and Loathing. This could be trouble. So,
what is that? A store, or like a Diablo League DVD or something like that, or what?
Yeah, he's in Australia. So yeah, I think that yeah. So yeah. Dr. Doolittle. Yeah. We'll give Runner a few minutes, guys, and if you don't show up, we'll just go to you, Tom, and you can show off your animals and your movies.
This here is my special edition Blu-ray of Cat. It comes in a cat case.
Meow, meow,
It does
meow.
speak if you squeeze it hard enough.
Memories.
He's like, stop it. Leave me alone. Quit doing stuff to me.
Did I give you permission?
His favorite way to lay, actually? Sadie, back off. It's like this, like a baby.
Just hold him. It's like my brother's dog.
He just dies when he do that. See, he's like, I'm out.
My brother who's in the chat, his dog does it. He literally lays like a baby. His little dog, Rowdy.
he's gonna go to sleep now.
Do you remember the best coming of age movie starring the best teenage actress ever, Linda Mance, directed and starred Dennis Hopper, Out of the Blue?
Vaguely.
Yeah, I think I vaguely remember. Didn't they just release that on Kino?
Yo,
or was that a different movie? Yeah, I can hear you now.
I'm on my laptop. Sorry, I can't use my fucking stupid computer. My PC, it doesn't want to work.
I let
Internet.
Sadie out of the cone for a little bit sick, but she's got to get her ear medicine here as soon as we're done. So
this next movie is gonna piss off Tom because I know he hates this movie.
Oh boy.
I enjoy this movie, but maybe it's more of an age thing. I don't know what it is.
Fucking sucks. I know you hate me.
I really do. No, I don't. I don't hate you. I understand Tom's criticisms of this movie. It's not the greatest. I don't love it as much as other people, but I do enjoy it for what it is. And a sequel is going to come out really soon for it, and that's Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Into the Wokeverse?
Into the
BLM man?
I'm not a fan of the character, but I kind of like the movie. I'm sorry.
Sell
out. I've never seen it. I've never watched it. So
Spider-Pan.
But I watched it late last night.
And we lost him again. He watched it last night, and I've never
a favor and not watch this movie.
I have never really been interested in seeing that movie. I'm not a fan of the art style. I'm not really a fan of Miles Morales. I mean, I heard some people say it was good, but I heard some people say it was bad. So it didn't interest me. It just didn't interest me.
I'm not a fan of the character either, and I actually like the art style. It kind of felt very comic booky. So I didn't have a problem with it. I actually liked how it had some of the dots in it on like the characters and even the background.
If I bought a comic book that looked like that, I would take it back because it looks like it's all out of alignment.
I don't get it. I think it looks fucking good. I'm sorry.
They overdid it.
I thought it was fine. I thought the animation looked good. I'm sorry.
Personally, the animation style causes my eyes strain, but I do appreciate its attempt to be different experiment. So
it was something. Maybe it's because it was something different. Maybe that's why I liked it.
I don't know. Like I said, I've never seen that.
I'm a boomer, so
yeah, I've never seen it.
I understand why you don't like it. It's not like there's like some criticisms I have of it, but they're not like.
Tell me, how did she get a bat cave under the house? Nobody noticed.
Nobody noticed. I don't even know. I have no idea what that is because I've never.
What is the house's foundation like?
I mean, technically, I hate using this as an excuse, but it's a different Earth, I guess you could say.
So contractors work differently there?
Hey, Peter B. Parker.
There's caves underneath.
Made a cave for his his gadgets and stuff. I don't know.
I'm
I didn't
calling
have,
bullshit.
I
I
didn't
feel
have a
like
problem.
I feel like Spider-Man 2099 is going to be wasted big
Not to
time in
mention
the
Aunt
second
May
one.
with her lesbian lover, Dr. Octopus. Or Dr. Lick-a-lot-of-puss.
No, that just, I don't know. There wasn't really a lesbian relationship, but whatever.
Okay.
I mean, in the comic books, Aunt May married Dr. Octopus, so I think that's
I've seen a few lesbians fight in my life. That's about how they fight.
Hey, if they're lesbians, whatever.
Former lovers, no less.
I don't give a shit. I mean, that's not even the real Aunt May. That's just a different Aunt May, honestly. And that's not the real Doc Ock either. So plus there was a female Doc Ock already in one of the other Spider-Man games, and it was a multiverse one, so I didn't really give a shit about that.
The only thing that looks like they did decently in the second film is they at least gave Peter a baby, meaning he must have got his shit together with Mary Jane, because that was another thing, is they basically Jake Skywalker Spider-Man in that movie.
Nah, I wouldn't go that far.
Everybody argues with me, but to name one thing that he does that doesn't make him look like a piece of shit.
Dude, he kicks Miles' ass in the movie.
No, that was a good thing.
Okay, with all the divorce and all the shit he went through, of course you're gonna act fucking depressed. Like, I'm sorry.
Point is, you don't do that. Kind of like Toby said, you make it work.
Okay. And that's
at least they didn't make Toby divorced.
All right. I mean, that's a different Spider-Man. I don't know.
That Spider-Man is implied to be Toby Maguire's
yeah, he even
Spider-Man.
does the dance, the Spider-Man 3 dance.
And
I have seen that.
upside down
that's
kiss
just
and
fucking-
everything else.
Honestly, I don't think it is Tobey Maguire, and I'll
And
explain
for
why.
what I heard that
doesn't-
it was actually supposed to be Tobey Maguire's voice. They offered it to him.
Okay, but they didn't, because it's not even the right suit either. Not even the right fucking head or anything.
I don't know. I have no dog in the kid. Like I said, I've never seen.
I wouldn't
the
give a
movie.
shit, but I've been hearing rumors, and I've got a strong feeling they're going to try and cross this shit over. Like, the rumor is that the end credit scene is Miles running into all the other Spider-Men, meaning Toby, Tom, and
Andrew,
if not at least Tom Holland Spider-Man.
I mean, okay, I'm gonna see the sequel Friday with some friends of mine. I'm not like super excited for it because of the trailers, but I enjoyed the first one for what it was. The trailers, I didn't dig as much. I don't need a sequel to it, but I'll say this. I think the movie at the time worked a lot more, at least for me. So I didn't hate it. I very much loved it the first time I saw it. I thought it was like really fucking cool in the theater and shit. But I mean, rewatching it today, I like it. Maybe not as much back then, but I enjoyed it nonetheless.
All right.
I really don't think it's as woke as Tom thinks it is, but that's just me. That's fine. You do you. I don't like Miles Morales either. I'm not a huge fan of him. I don't give a shit about the character at all.
It's Peter Darker at the end of the day, so.
Listen, I
same
don't.
shit. They even made him more like Peter Parker in this movie.
Not really. Not.
He becomes Spider-Man because his uncle dies.
Okay. that. I mean, yeah. True. That's like the. I'll give you that. I'll give you that, but like not. There's other things.
The only thing that makes him different from Peter are just stereotypes. He listens to rap music. He tags things. He spray paints everything.
Well, yeah, he's not a photographer. Peter Parker is.
I know.
I don't know. I thought he was done better in this. It's better than the fucking video game.
And I don't know what universe they live in, but spray paint don't dry that fast. And not only that, I don't know how well it would dry to a suit like that. Just saying it. The whole thing, even though I know it's batshit craziness, it just took me out of the movie. When Miles Morales is the most uninteresting and unlikable character in his own movie. There's a fucking pig that's more likable than him in that movie.
No, I would say that Spider-Man Noir and Spider-Ham were probably one of the best parts of the movie. I mean, some of the one-liners for Spider-Man Noir is great because it's Nicolas Cage doing the voice.
Like I said, I've never ever seen the movie.
See,
So
okay, Greg, you would like the Spider-Man Noir stuff just because it's Nicolas Cage alone.
I'll take your word for it because I probably never watch it. And I actually like Spider-Man 2099, and I feel like they're going to fuck him up in the next one.
That's the one thing I'm worried about with the new movie is that they will fuck him up, but
before we talk any more about this, do you want to say anything else, and then we'll move on to Tom?
I don't, I understand the criticism about the stereotypes and shit, but I thought it was fine. It didn't feel forced to me. I'm sorry. Listen, if some of you in the chat agree with Tom, cool. I don't give a shit.
You don't need to take it so personal.
I'm just saying, okay, like I'm just saying you had to be there. At least maybe
I'll give you this. It's made for your age group. I'll give you that.
That's my point. Like I was like I was around the right age when it came out.
It's not like for kids, but whatever.
No, I was in the middle of high school when I saw this movie, so
okay.
All right.
I love you, Runner. I just don't love this movie.
I know you did.
Spider-Gwen is one of the dumbest motherfucking characters in the world.
Oh no, I don't give a shit about Spider-Gwen. I'll give you that.
Gee, I wonder who she is. Well, let's start by finding everybody named Gwen.
No, I don't give a shit about Spider-Gwen. I'll give you that. Spider-Gwen is worse than Miles Morales, honestly. Dude, I've seen the trailers. The trailers.
I predicted this. A lot of people owe me a motherfucking apology. That's all I'm gonna say.
Hey, I saw where you were coming from with your criticisms.
Honestly, I wouldn't give a shit, but now it's infested other shit, and that's what I knew was gonna happen. Like Ninja Turtles now is just that. It's just them trying to be Spider-Verse now. The same animation style, the same kind of humor, the same obnoxious colors, and I do like color, don't get me wrong, but this Ninja Turtles movie looks like Nickelodeon barfed up all over.
Okay, you want maybe this wasn't as much of a criticism for you, Tom, but one of the things I absolutely hated in the first Spider-Verse movie was Green Goblin's design to make him look more like a fucking beast. That was fucking stupid.
I hated that.
That I hated. I'll give you that. I was just like, that's fucking stupid. No, he's got to be a fucking.
They've almost never really gotten the goblin.
Like he doesn't have dragon wings. He has a fucking glider. Like,
and even there, I don't like the mask. So I'll admit that. Like they should have just went with the original design.
Oh yeah,
because Willem Dafoe looks like him. So
I know, but like I'm just saying, like, and I'm speaking from someone who likes the animation. Okay, I know you don't. You don't have to say you hate it because I know you don't.
No, it gave me a headache most of all.
No, that's fine.
And I saw it in 3D, and I still felt like I needed to put 3D glasses on because everything was still out of alignment in the background and everything. So it was like kind of annoying.
Oh no, but the Green Goblin's like design in that, which even in the trailers, I'm like, I couldn't even tell it was Green Goblin until I saw the movie, and I'm like, okay, that's not good. That looks terrible.
Or like Hulk Goblin.
Yeah, it was the Hulk Goblin thing, which I just don't like that design at all.
Well, you'll have to let us know if the new one's worth a shit.
Yeah.
I will.
All right.
It ain't gonna be no Morbius though.
Morbius is glorious. So
That's why
I still haven't seen Morbius, so it ain't Morbin time for me yet.
See, this is the problem.
What if Morbius is in the next Spider-Verse movie?
Oh God.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they do pull something.
That would be hilarious if they actually.
I've heard that he's supposed to pop up, I think, in like the next Venom movie or some shit like that. But yeah.
Yeah, they were supposed to be connecting the Venom universe with Morbius and Craven and all of them.
I was gonna say,
or was it Craven? Maybe that's what he's popping up in. Yeah, I can't remember which. But
see, I'm not excited for that Craven movie because of that leak.
Me neither. Craven has never been a character I've really liked. Anyway, he always kind of reminded me of like Punisher and Safari get up.
But didn't they like change him from not even like hunting animals? He hunts people now, or something like that.
Well, that's
or
what I'm saying.
What was they changing him to?
That's the thing is he's like, yeah, he already kind of is a. I mean, it's kind of a neat idea for a character, but it's a lot like Punisher, only a bad guy. Because he kills people too, or whatever. But yeah, he's a prize hunter. He's always going after the new big prize. Yeah. Spider-Man's a big prize.
Yeah. Wasn't it like they're making him a vegan or something in it, or something like that?
See, that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, I heard something like they were changing him to like
that's
making him a vegan.
That's what they were saying. That's what they were saying, and I hate that.
Why would you make Craven the Hunter a vegan?
Exactly.
That makes zero. That makes 0 sense. No, negative. Beyond negative, 0 sense.
All right, what do you got for us, Tom? What's your final pick of the night?
Well, once in a great while, there's a very touching film about relationships between brothers and friends and fathers, and legacies are very important. And there's only a few films that I believe captured all those things perfectly, as I just said. And of course, it has to be Tommy Boy.
Tommy Boy.
Yes, the classic Tommy Boy. I had to watch this for a show this last week, and it's one of the few movies where I actually keep the DVD, and for one stupid reason only. That's because it actually has this cover on it. It has the map of their trip. And if you'll notice, it has all these places in Wisconsin.
Nice.
Although they never filmed it there. It was all in Canada. But yeah, I hadn't seen it in a while, and I'd never watched it on Blu-ray, and it really needs an upgrade. I think we had rumored that this is coming in 4K.
I think isn't it out on 4K right now?
No, unless it's on digital. But
I could have sworn I saw they just had a new release of this come out. It's available to buy.
It was a re-release on Blu-ray.
Oh, okay,
okay. That's what I was gonna say. They did a steelbook so it was very much like Wayne's World in that respect.
Yeah.
We're gonna get a 4K later this year, next year.
Yeah.
I mean, it is kind of like 2 years till the anniversary. That could be yet too. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
But no, I enjoyed it quite a bit. I was reminded how much I loved it. I've seen it a million times as a kid or teenager. But funnily enough, I saw it the same day I saw Bad Boys in the theater.
No, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, I've seen it a few times, but the first time, yeah.
Brothers gotta hug. Because I'm a maniac.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Maniac.
I interrupted Happy Time.
And that was what's it? Yeah. That was Rob Lowe's big comeback from Wayne's World to Tommy Boy. So
yeah. Well, and funny, the movie was supposed to be about him and Rob Lowe. The original idea was really close to Step Brothers. It was more or less just basically these two stepbrothers that have nothing in common. Right? You have Rob Lowe and you have Chris Farley. Well, then David Spade got involved too, and then it became this road trip movie. But they started filming the movie with only like 60 pages of the script written. So they had no idea what was going to happen after they left. They just know they head on out on the road. And the guys that wrote this, one of them was a Saturday Night Live writer, so he always hung around those guys. And David Spade and Chris Farley shared an office, so a lot of times he would just write down the shit they were doing to each other, and the arguments they would have, and just the little goofy things they would do to each other and stuff like that. So a lot of the stuff that's in this movie is either stuff straight from David Spade, Chris Farley, improvised by them, or it's true stories that the original writers come up with, or the writers that worked on this version. The original story was way different. That the writers came up with, like things that they had done in road trips and all that kind of stuff like that. The original name of the movie was Midwest Billy. But of course, Billy Madison came out right around the same time, and they didn't want anybody to think there was any confusion there, so they changed the name to Tommy, but they didn't know what they were going to call it yet. It didn't get called Tommy Boy until they had started filming it, because it was not in a script, but Brian Dennehy kept calling Chris Farley Tommy Boy.
Oh, that works. That's cool.
So they just picked up on that as the title. I'm trying to remember what the other title was going to be for a while there before they settled on that. But yeah, so then they finished up the idea and the story. And then the original producer that had brought the movie on, she saw the film and she's like, that's not the movie I bought. And she was like bawling and crying. They're like, well, what's wrong? She's like, nothing. It was amazing, but it's just not the movie I bought. I didn't know that you could make that good of a movie out of what we bought.
Yeah.
Because the concept she bought was just the Step Brothers concept, and it turned into this, Tommy Boy story. And it is chock full, even though it's a very tight, like 95-minute movie or whatever. I mean, it is balls to the wall. Like, if you add one more thing to this movie, it's going to fall under the weight of itself.
Right. It has
just
pretty
the right amount of shit. Yeah. And I mean, even the deleted scenes that are on this and extended scenes, there's so much stuff that got cut out that you're like, damn, I wish it had wound up in the movie, but it didn't. But like, there's some really funny stuff. But it's just an interesting film. I hope they revisit it soon. I thought we had rumored that it's getting a 4K release.
If we did have a rumor,
it
not
needs
too long
it
ago.
badly.
Yeah.
It does, because it looks like donkey shit on Blu-ray. Really bad. Like, it barely looks better than a DVD.
Dang.
Because it's probably the same scan when they put together the DVD of the Holy Shnikey edition, I'm sure.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, because otherwise it's exactly the same. The only thing that sucks is they didn't give you the slipcover on the Blu-ray. I kept the DVD. But yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I haven't seen it in quite a while, and yeah.
I've always enjoyed it. I always felt like it was the spiritual successor to Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Very much so. Very much so.
Yeah, it's very much in that vein, and I really love it. And it's just, you think about it, and it's fun. And I do remember Chris Farley saying that it's his dad's favorite movie he made. His dad really liked it, and I do remember the story where the fat guy in a little coat. I remember saying that, where David Spade said he would just do that in their office in Saturday Night Live. That's where they stole it from, because I do remember that. Yeah, so yeah,
because he'd always do that, and it would piss David off. But there's an extended part to that story actually. The editor was editing the dailies from that scene, and in the original script, in the way that Chris played it on his end, when it was his sides, just fat guy in a little coat, and rip. Uh-oh. Well, later they then flipped around and did David's side, and Chris must have been getting a little loopy or whatever, just doing the same thing, getting bored, because he starts singing, and at one of the last takes, he goes, fat guy in little coat. Yeah. So the take that we have of David Spade in the movie is that first night, and he's like, take it off, dickhead, I'm serious. Like, that's all from the first take, but from him singing to him on the opposite side. So it just so happened they were going back to reshoot that entire scene, because the director thought that the shirt that Chris was wearing looked like shit, and they didn't like the lighting in the original version of the scene. It doesn't even look like the same room and stuff like that. If you see the original extended cut, you can tell. And so they went back to reshoot it, and the editor's like, if you do think of this, have Chris sing it this time. He said he kept watching that last reel over and over because Chris singing that cracked him up so much
Nice.
that he's like, make sure you have him sing it like he did at the end of the other takes because that cracked me up. And so they had him sing it the second time.
Nice.
Yeah, and there's an outtake where he couldn't rip the jacket too either. He's like, it's not tight enough.
Richard, what's happening?
There's an alternate of that one too where he's not wearing a goddamn thing.
I remember seeing that deleted scene.
And David loses it. He's like, oh shit.
He just like walks away.
But you got to give David Spade does not get enough credit for this movie either. You got to think about because where he was at this time, the fact that he allowed them to do like the wig joke. I mean, this guy was very vain, already, had enough security issues with being a smaller guy to begin with. I give him credit for being a sport about that shit. But him and Chris did get into it quite often because I guess he was super jealous of Chris's girlfriend.
Yeah, because
his girlfriend was
the chick that gets naked in the pool.
Pool lady, yeah.
Yeah. And she was hot back then. Yeah.
And I heard that story and I'm like, Jesus, Dave, let it go. You got all the fucking models. Let Chris have one. Jesus.
I mean, David Spade is still dating young chicks.
Yeah, like women that are 20 years younger than him and 2 feet taller still.
Yeah. I just figured, not that it has anything to do with it, but I just saw it today, like Al Pacino is 82, has knocked up his 29-year-old girlfriend.
Watch your language in front of the lady.
You know which way to the gym.
I know where you live and I've seen where you sleep. And I pray, I tell you, your mothers will pray to God after they see what I've done to you. I lied. I really don't know where they live.
Yeah.
That was awesome. When I pull over, just get out screaming. What? Just trust me. Do it.
Yeah.
Bees! Bees! They're everywhere! They're humongous! I'm swelling up!
Oh, it's such a fun movie. And I can't believe that worked.
I can't believe that worked.
Yeah.
Chips as a kid? Why?
Why?
They cut the one out when Dan Aykroyd asked it, but you can hear it in the background on the TV.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, did you eat paint chips as a kid? Why? Let me tell you why I suck as a salesman. See here, this is my sale. So I stroke it and I massage it and I love it. I love my naughty little pet. You're naughty. And then I take my naughty little pet and I go, oh, I killed it. I killed my sale. That's usually when I blow it.
I'll go see if they could turn it back on for you.
Where's Dad? I thought he was picking me up. Yeah, he was here this morning. You should have called. I did call. Oh, yeah? What number did you dial? 4 6 9 2. Did I catch a 9er in there? Are you calling from a walkie-talkie? No, it was a cell phone.
This is hilarious.
Shut up, Richard.
It's Herbie Hancock. But yes, I do believe. I mean, I like Kevin James. I do. I think he's funny, but I do think he is cardboard cutout, a cardboard Chris Farley, and I do think that's only like.
Oh, Chris is a force of fucking nature.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
And I knew a lot of people who knew him personally, or at least met him a few times and stuff, because he used to come whenever he get done. Because whenever he'd shoot a movie, he was clean and sober,
right,
through the whole shoot. And that was one of the deals with Tommy Boy too, with the director, because the director didn't want to do it, but Chris was really insistent that he wanted the director, Peter Siegel. And Siegel's like, I'll do it, but you got to stay clean the whole time, because he remembered all the horror stories about John Belushi.
Mm-hmm.
So Chris stayed sober, and he did that for every movie he was on. And in fact, I would actually argue that might have been part of what killed him, because that starting and stopping is worse than getting treatment and weaning yourself off of it, especially some of the harder shit that he was doing. Because that was the thing. People, go ahead.
Yeah, because you really binge afterwards. Once you're done and you go and you binge a lot of it. Yeah, so it's a lot
not
worse.
Only that, Chris was a force of fucking nature. I was told, several times he'd show up at like frat parties down in Madison. Just show up unannounced, and you'd hear him the moment he come in. Hey, everybody, how you doing? And he'd just come in and he'd fall over something. Oh shit, who put that? He'd do that whole thing.
Yeah.
Somebody give him a beer and he'd slam that. Or like his thing was, as everybody said, somebody was having a beer, he'd have 6. Somebody was drinking a glass of wine, he'd have the whole bottle of wine. Somebody was drinking a Jack Daniels and Coke, he'd drink the whole bottle of Jack. Someone was doing a line of Coke, he'd do 5.
Yeah.
Right? Like he always did excess, is what everybody was telling me. Like my cousin was there once when he went to one of these parties. And that's what he said. He was just a ball of energy, just like what you see of him. He's just this charming, loving, huggable bear guy. He'd just come around, just hug all the guys. He loved the rugby players and shit like that, and all that kind of stuff. And
yeah,
and he was really insecure about women, was another thing too. So I mean, women would throw it, but he'd never trust them. That was the problem, because of course they didn't want nothing to do with him before he was famous. The moment he was famous, they just
had tons. He had tons of women.
One hand on his dick, the other one in his pocket.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
So
yeah, it sucks, man. It does, and I do. Yeah, he probably would have been just as successful as Adam Sandler.
Sadly, yeah. In fact, I would argue he never got a chance to show us what he could really do.
Yeah.
I think there was another side of Chris we never got to see. In fact, I think Shrek was kind of the bridge to that. Because his version of Shrek was going to be way different than what we got.
Yeah, very different.
And his version of the character was more closer to Chris.
Mm-hmm.
It was very much a lot of Chris. A lot of his insecurities were in that character. And yeah, it's pretty sad that we never got to see his version of it.
Yeah, that sucks. And I do think with Tommy Boy, that's sort of where he showed you
best movie too,
it's his best movie, and it does get emotional at the end, especially because like you said, for 90 it packs a lot. It goes from him as a kid to college, coming home, it's meeting his dad, his future stepmom. His dad dies, he's got to save the company. I mean, it goes quick, and it packs a lot in there. And I do think I think Chris Farley could have had a really good career. I think he could have. I think he could have won an Oscar eventually.
Yeah, I think he could have rivaled John Candy. I've been asked that a lot. Like, what do you think he'd be doing now? Where do you think he'd be at? I think he'd be very much in the same place John Candy was it would have been at his age.
Mm-hmm.
Doing one for him, doing the big studio kind of thing, and then doing, the dramatic turn here and there, and getting a lot of praise for it too. I bet he could have. I bet he could have really. And you see it in Tommy Boy, right? Because he's got that thing, that charm to him. That lovable thing that you just can't, no matter how, he's not obnoxious. That's the beauty of it. It's like some of these guys, even Jim Carrey kind of fell into that obnoxious kind of.
Yeah, they kind of get to their.
Chris was never like that. And that's the thing. The real Chris, you could tell, was just a sweet, genuine guy. And that's the thing. Most people that knew him the best said that he was the Chris Farley you see when he would interview like Paul McCartney and stuff on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
You're like, that was Chris.
Remember when you were in the Beatles? That was awesome. Yeah, I get that. Yeah. And it is a shame. And honestly, Brian Barth, there's not a whole lot too much difference between them. That some of their story parallels.
I would say that Belushi had a much darker streak in him.
I was gonna say Chris was more like the happy type.
Like I said, Chris was a very, from what I never really heard any bad stories about Chris. He was always a very sweet, sensitive guy. From what everybody generally says, he was never the type of guy to really even. Like the only person he'd ever really fight with would be like David Spade.
That's what I remember. Like him and David Spade got into.
I remember another story now that I'm thinking about this, and this isn't even on the Blu-ray or anything. David told this story. But they got in a huge fucking like tiff over who was going to hang out with Rob Lowe. I can't remember which one went out first. Like, because like one of them said something to Rob about going out, and he's like, "I already got plans, maybe next time," or something like that. And it turned out he went out with, I think, David the first night. So Chris got just irate. He's like, "I wanted to hang out with Rob, and you went and hung out with her first." They fought like brothers, basically. It was just like this thing, and they were always, as close as they were, they fought just as hard, and that's the only time I've ever heard stories about like, you know, him ever fighting with anybody was like really petty kid shit like that, like
Yeah.
you asshole, you know, like
Yeah. It was always
you fucking know I wanted to hang out with him.
Yeah. It's a good time, man. It's just reminisce about those movies and those guys. They were
Yeah, and Dave,
onto something, I
Brian's
think.
right. Chris would usually like overpower David eventually if David would piss him off enough.
yeah.
Like, he'd do shit to him, like stuff him into things, and I think he stuffed him in like a garbage can once and some other things. And,
Yeah.
I had relationships with little guys like that in high school, though. Like that's the thing. I mean, I have a personal relationship with the movie just because, I mean, Tommy Boy is me, right? Like that guy is me growing up. That is, I know guys a lot like all the people that are in his life. You know,
Right.
I know the Midwest expectations. I know the kind of place he's supposed to come from. He comes from the same place I come from, you know?
Right.
So, I mean, really, this is probably the closest to Chris Farley's character in a film. Like his real person, I guess. He's obviously not that dull or dumb, but I mean, his sweetness shows through, and his, that was the thing that everybody always said, is he always wanted to help. You know, how helpful he was always just so, you know, what can I do, you know, to make things better kind of thing all the time. Like he was always making everybody around him happy, which is a general thing about comedians. They like to seem to make everybody else happy when they're the saddest guy in the room.
Yeah. The
Runner's
clown,
been so
the
quiet,
sad
I don't even
clown.
think he's seen this.
I haven't. That's why I didn't say shit.
What?
I can't believe that.
No,
Nikes.
I've wanted to see Tommy Boy for a long time. I just haven't gotten to it.
What'd you do?
Plus, like Tom. Plus, Tom probably gave away like every single fucking quote of that movie.
It's one of those
that I
movies.
even
No,
watched.
it's like
No,
tons.
I'll watch it.
Holy shnikes, she's a 10. Is that for me? No, son, that's for me.
No, I do need to fix that. But you two were like really into it, so I was.
It's a great
giving you guys
flick. Dan Aykroyd
Oh
is
yeah,
a great
you'll
one,
love
too.
it, man.
I make car parts for the average car guy. God, I love that.
You know, it's funny.
On the pine tree perfume there, didn't you, kid? It's an air freshener. Now you pinpointed it. The next part is washing it off.
Yeah. No, sure. Some other really big guy with a little head.
What? I got a tiny head?
Speaking of which, have you ever seen?
Am I hanging out with a known felon?
Have you ever seen 51st Dates with Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore?
I have.
I've seen a little bit of it.
I was gonna say, they bring up Tommy Boy in that movie. It's his company, what's it called? The car
Callahan
parts.
Auto.
Callahan Auto funds the place that they go to for the
I
memory
never
people.
caught
With
that.
Dan Aykroyd, Dan Aykroyd is the head doctor there for the memory people, and he tells when they bring Drew Barrymore in with the first time to show, to tell Adam Sandler how it is. He goes, "We're funded by Tommy of Callahan. They fit the bill here from a charity or whatever." So
I never even caught that. I mean, I haven't seen the movie in like.
I just watched it on TV the other day. My dad loves that movie.
It's like one of the
So he was,
last
like, watching
decent
it on
Adam Sandler
TV.
movies. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's good.
When did 51st Dates come out?
Oh God, 2000.
It's like
2000
2000
or two.
something.
Was it a little later
Yeah.
than
It was in the early 2000s.
Oh, it's 2004.
that? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, like because I remember saying because they bring and it was funny because it's Dan Aykroyd, bringing it up as that. But yeah, I love. You're gonna have to see it, Runner. You're gonna love.
Send him
Tommy
some
Boy.
flowers and a bottle of wine with some ice, and tell him, "Here you go, get drunk on me. Here, ice off your rock."
I'm pretty
Ice
sure.
off- the
I'm
ice
pretty
on
sure I
your
will
rock.
love it. I'm pretty sure I will love it. I just haven't gotten to seeing it. And I do like Chris Farley and some of the
He
things.
seems like a nice guy. That's the guy that's trying to buy your company out, and you're just like, "Oh, he seems like a nice guy." Oh no, M&M's in the dash. That really ups the resale value. I think you're all right. They have a thick candy shell or a thin candy shell. Yeah, your brain has a thick candy shell. Shut up, Richard.
Oh, that's a good. That is a good one.
I'm not changing it. You can change it. I'm fine if you are. So am I. All right. Don't you remember you told me you love me, baby?
Love me, baby. Da, da, da. Said you be coming
back this way again, baby.
Baby. It's the end of the world. Oh, like I said, if you look at Streets of Automobiles, man, it has got a great soundtrack to it.
Come on, Eileen, and a couple other good ones on there. Yeah.
What on Eileen?
Come on, Eileen. Come on, Eileen. Oh, I swear, well in me.
All right.
And it has some of the best road trip stuff in it too, because like I usually hate with the obligatory animal scene.
Oh yeah,
this is one of the few movies that pulls it off, especially somebody from Wisconsin, because some stupid idiot from who's not around here would do something like that. Like, because a typical Wisconsin person, okay, a person from out of state be like, "Oh my God, the beautiful deer! It's so innocent, and I killed it. I should take it to the vet." And blah 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 blah. A Wisconsinite or an Iowa person from Iowa, Minnesota be like, "Goddamn fucking rat, get the fuck off the road!" Kicking it the whole way off the road because I just fucked up my car. You piece of fucking worm-ridden filth. We hate deer around here. They are fucking rats.
Oh, really?
They walk through the town like they don't give a fuck. You can you come up to them and you can honk the horn at you. They look at you like, what? I'm eating crab apples, motherfucker. Fuck off.
What you would do?
They don't give a fuck. Exactly. What are you gonna do? Like, you gonna come up on me, bitch? Come on. They stay in my backyard. I had one like nose to nose with Sadie, and I'm just sitting here thinking, bitch, you better hope her fucking chain don't snap. Because if you do, she's getting venison for dinner. Because she is on you like fucking white on rice right now. And that deer just kind of stood there and stared at her. And she's going, rah, 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 right now. Like, it's like, if that don't scare a deer, what the fuck will? Like, these things have zero fucks to give. And that's another thing. I was having this conversation the other day with Jason Sandberg over on when we were talking about Tommy Boy on the that's what I watched this for, and he was saying the same kind of shit about deer, and I'm like, yes, finally somebody understands, because everybody else, if I'd say shit like that, be like, oh my God, that's horrible, the poor fucking, no, fuck the deer, they will jump out and hit your car. Yes, you heard me right. You don't hit them, they fucking hit you. Because one night, and I didn't believe this shit either, till one night, like 20 years ago, my buddy calls me. He's like, dude, a fucking deer just hit my car. I'm like, you mean the other way around? He's like, no, a fucking deer just hit my car. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? He's like, I'm driving down the fucking road. All of a sudden, a fucking deer rams into me in the side of the fucking car, going God knows how many goddamn miles an hour. And now my whole side of my car is all fucked up. And sure as shit, I look at his car, I'm thinking he's nuts. And I look at his car, and it looks exactly like he fucking explained. And there's fucking deer hair hanging off the fucking mirror and shit. And I'm like, I'll be damned, a fucking deer hit your car. They gun for them fuckers. It's like, I'm going to hit him.
Yeah, deer are fucking...
Tim knows, he's backing me. Oh, you know too. You're from the Illinois area. If you...
Yeah, no. Sometimes when we like drive to like visit family, like there'll be a deer that'll pop up randomly. Luckily, like
fucking jerks.
Luckily, a deer didn't hit us, but like for what I remember, there was like one time. This is when I was younger. Like there was like a deer like on the road, and we were like almost to our family's house, like some other family members of mine.
I came close to one hitting me, but yeah.
Yeah, and like my dad like stopped the car and was like trying to like get the deer out of the fucking way.
They don't care.
I know, that's the thing. They don't care.
They're like, you just stopped for me. What the fuck are you gonna do? No, because I had one that pissed me off once, because I roll up on it and I seen her hop up out of the fucking ditch. I'm like, all right, you stay right the fuck where you're at. So I start to speed up, and sure as shit, as soon as I get up to about 40 miles an hour, that bitch darts right out in the road. And I fucking hit her with the van, and I'm like, you fucking stupid piece of shit. I was so
Yeah. Yeah. Anytime you're like driving near like a forest or something, like there'll be a deer or something like pop out of nowhere. I saw a deer. Hold on a second. I saw a deer outside of campus once.
I'm not surprised.
It was like out of nowhere. I'm like, what the fuck? And like literally, it was just standing there.
Yeah, they are like pests around here, and I don't even know. I wouldn't even want to eat half of them the way they look. Like that's the thing. They look ratty as shit.
I've had deer meat. It's pretty good.
I'm not a huge fan. It's okay. But unless you get a real nice healthy deer, I can't imagine you'd want to eat some of the crappy deer.
No, but a family friend of ours like hunts deer like religiously, and like he's like hosted deer barbecues.
Oh jeez. I've heard camels are worse too, Brian.
Good. They're fucking great. Actually.
Yeah, that same show you're talking on. Mephisto's like, yeah, we got camels that do that shit here. Not only that, they'll sit in the middle of the road. I'm like, okay, that's the equivalent of fucking cows then. And I've known a couple of guys who have hit cows, and you do not want to hit a fucking cow.
Oh God, no.
That you are lucky if you live, and your fucking vehicle ain't gonna live, and chances are that cow's just gonna keep on walking.
I was gonna say like a cow isn't.
I hit a horse once, and the fucker just kept going. Like,
really?
He come out of fucking nowhere. I was like, what the fuck? Because I saw something in the road. I'm like, what the hell is that? And what it was I found out after I passed was there was two darker colored horses. One of them was like, what is it, like an Appaloosa or whatever you call it, where they got the white spots. So what I was seeing was the white spots, but I couldn't figure out what the fuck it was because I just saw the motion of it. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this big motherfucking Clydesdale comes up out of the ditch. And I slam on my fucking brakes, and I just missed the bastard. I clipped his leg, and he just kept moving. And I looked over, and I turned around, because luckily it didn't damage my car too bad, just the bumper and shit. I think knocked the light out of alignment. But I swung around, and I shined the light into the fucking pasture where they were at. And I seen the 3 or 4 horses there. I can't remember exactly how many there were. But like I said, the first couple were dark, but that Clydesdale was brown and big. So I seen him as clear as day. So I'm like trying to, and of course I'm in a bad fucking spot. And I actually had a cell phone at this time, believe it or not. This is as long ago as this was, because this was like 25 years ago now. But my mom had gotten cell phones early because she worked for as a nurse. So she had cell phone in the car all the time. And so I'm sitting here trying to get a fucking signal. Of course, at this point, nobody's got cell phone signal. So I had to drive to the next nearest town. And I'm calling the cops. I'm like, okay, there's a farm down here on this road off of V that they have like 3 or 4 horses that are just fucking running free. So clearly they got out of the fence somehow. And they were just running around in the middle of the fucking night. And that was like fucked up. I couldn't believe it. I'm worried. I hit one of them in the leg, but he seemed fine and ran off. But I just wanted to let you know, and I never heard nothing back, so everything must have been kosher, but yeah. But I wasn't
crazy.
going up to no fucking farmhouse in the middle of the night in Wisconsin either. So that's the thing. You don't want to do that. Because you'll get your fucking head blown off. Yeah, it's fucking midnight and you're knocking on somebody's fucking door or creeping up to their house. You don't even get to the fucking door usually before you hear, stay in your business.
What you doing?
You cop. Anyway, moving on. Sorry about that. Tommy Boy.
That's all right. That's okay. Yes, Tommy Boy's a great movie. I guess it's me from the final pick of the night. Trust me, what I got here, we ain't going to talk long about. So,
Of course not.
No, yeah. Like I said, I brought some like trashy stuff tonight and low budget things. This is actually a DVD. It's a documentary that just came out. I don't think it's on Blu-ray, so I just got the DVD. And it's called Stale Popcorn and Sticky Floors. It's a documentary about grindhouse horror of the 70s and 80s. It's a nice little 90-minute documentary. Pretty fun listening to some of these older people that sometimes you don't get to see interviewed for documentaries on horror movies and stuff. So it's basically, you know, the exploitation movies. Talks to Lynn Lowry, Mel Novak, the guy from Basket Case, Brink Stevens, and like producers and stuff like that. And you get to hear about stories that necessarily you don't get to hear because these aren't the people that you usually get to see interviewed in documentaries about stuff like this. You know, because they usually don't go, like, they interview the guy that with the one arm, the one armed guy, he played the zombie in Reanimator. Like, they don't often interview that person. And so it was pretty fun to hear these movies and talk about, you know, how these movies came about, what they meant. Like, I Spit on Your Grave, I Drink Your Blood, Basket Case, Halloween 3. They talk about Halloween 3, and, you know, the guy that did the special mask and everything for the movie. It's a nice little documentary. It just came out, so yeah. If you're into like grindhouse films and want to hear some, like, it's basically like a 90-minute long Blu-ray special feature, like you would see on these movies, but put together with all these
like In Search of Darkness and shit like that.
Yeah, sort of like that, but it's more. I would say it's like where In Search of Darkness does it like a documentary, like, you know, breaks it up. This is sort of like taking a Blu-ray feature of an interview and putting those interviews together to make a documentary, if you know what I'm saying. But yeah, it's a fun, yeah, like, because like you get the guy that made Spookies. He talks about making the Spookies, how you know, they shot like 2 hours and some footage, and then it was taken from them, and a porn star woman came in and as director and said, "Oh, we can only use 40 minutes of this movie of like 2 hours of something footage they shot." So yeah, and because Spookies, if you've ever seen that movie is a hodgepodge of all kinds of different shit, whereas like so many people mess with it, you can't even make it to the sense of the movie. But yeah, you get to hear stuff like that, and it was fun. It was fun to hear about like Halloween 3 and everything like that. So if you're into that stuff, I recommend it. It's only a $10 DVD. There's no Blu-ray that I could find, at least here in the United States. There might be a Blu-ray outside of the U.S. because it's made by Wild Eye Releasing, and if I remember correctly, I think that might be a German company. So there might be a Blu-ray outside of the States. But yeah. It's a fun movie. It's fun and to hear if you're into grindhouse movies and horror. So yeah, like I said, I knew we wouldn't be talking a lot about it. It is very interesting, and also good night to Brian Barth. He was saying good night to everybody.
Night, Brian.
Brian Barth. Yeah, good night. But yeah, there you guys go. That was my final pick of the night. I knew we wouldn't be talking about it much because I knew it's just more of my alley, my speed type stuff that I like and cover. But there you guys have it. Any final words for the night before we close it out, Runner?
I don't know.
Okay.
I like turtles.
Oh, there you go.
Like turtles. All right. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Runner, for being here. Thank you to everybody in the chat that hung with us this night. Thank you to everybody at home watching. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you next Wednesday. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Peace.
How you doing? Bitches leave.